Liquor Talk. Another new episode starts now. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are having a happy new year. And also, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm your man, Victor. I'm coming to you live from the Studio D3 in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Shout out to the 407. Shout out to everybody in Orlando. And I'm wishing you all a happy Christmas and a happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Shout out everybody. Happy all the damn holidays. God damn it. All right, joining me today. She's joining me from Jacksonville by way of Virginia. She's nice enough to pull up on me. Natasha, the host of what's your new podcast name?
In the Moment.
In the Moment podcast. She's the host of the In the Moment podcast with Natasha. Natasha, welcome to Liquor Talk. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm here, about to end 2025 with a high note and bring in 2026, feeling good, it is Christmas time. So I want to start off like this. What is your favorite Christmas movie of all time?
Die Hard.
Die Hard. That's a good one because many people say, oh, that might not be another Christmas one. I'm gonna give you another one that people don't think is a Christmas one. Friday After Next. That's my Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, it is because the whole Christmas thing that's going. Yep, it is. Yep.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So those are two Christmas movies. Go ahead and check them Christmas movies out, y'all. All right. So while we're here, now go ahead and tell us about your podcast that you recently started.
So I am originally the host of the Disaster Data 101 podcast. I am rebranding starting 2026 all over with In the Moment with Natasha Renee. And I just want to focus on just bettering ourselves, mental health, physically, mentally, financially, and just talk to and interview different people in these spaces of Florida or outside of Florida, and just me getting to know my new space out here.
Mm-hmm. So talk to me about a podcast transition, because I know so many different people. They start off with one podcast and then a few years later got another podcast. So
it's been I would say we've been doing, this will technically be my 5th season. Mm-hmm. So I've been trying to hold on to my baby, but I found that a lot of people wanted to come on and talk about different things. Like I had a comedian that had came on, a Emmy-nominated actor that came on, but everything was about dating. And there were so many things that I wanted to talk about outside of the space of dating that I was thinking about, like either doing a live or something else. But I'm like, no, let me just rebrand and start all over. So since I knew I was moving to Florida, I took a year off to really prepare myself for my move, and then also knowing that I was planning on transitioning and changing my podcast. So I started writing last year about my new podcast, but I didn't know what I wanted it to look like. And the issue was honestly the cover. So I just created my logo, and I'm like, this is the perfect logo. So that was my issue, really, was the logo. Once I got the logo done, I've recorded at least 3 episodes right now. I have one next week with a guest, and then next week 2 guests. And so I'm ready to start this new transition of In the Moment and no more bad dates.
Yes, no more bad dates. I understand. Speaking of bad dates, it's we're gonna start off right here. We're gonna stay right here with bad dates, because I wasn't even gonna talk about this, but then I saw this Facebook status as I'm about to leave, and I'm like, are you serious? So basically the person was complaining about how much money a person spends on a date. Why the hell is that even relevant to dating? And what do you think of women that complain about how much a man will spend on a first date? Because that's a setup for a disaster date right there. I might take a drink too.
Okay, now this is my personal opinion. However other people date, that is how you date. Mm-hmm. For me, it's not about how much you spend. It's about how much time you and thought that you may have taken to put into a date, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like more intimate spaces are better than you spending $100, $200 on a date. One, I'm a vegetarian, so I'm a cheap date, number one. Very cheap. But I feel like coffee dates are the best first dates, because with a coffee date, it's more intimate. You can get to know the person versus just sitting across from them at a table looking at them, trying to figure out whatever, and ooh, this food is good, where you're really getting to know someone. As far as cost, I feel like social media has pissed in the dating pool. And what I mean by that is so many people talk about, oh, this person spent this, oh my gosh, he didn't spend this, or he's a bum, or he's whatever, because the Cheesecake Factory thing. That's how it kind of started. But I'm like, the Cheesecake Factory is expensive. Me and my daughter alone, I think I spent over $100 on her. So it's like, why are we bashing these people or going on social media and complaining about these dates when a date is something where you're trying to get to know someone? I mean, if you want a meal, just say you want a meal. Mm-hmm. But if you want to really try to pursue somebody, I feel like these small, intimate spaces are just the best ways to get to know people.
Of course, I definitely agree with that. The small, intimate spaces are definitely the best place to get to know people. And it tells us men that, hey, you really down with us, because a date shouldn't cost, it shouldn't matter whether a date costs $5 or $50, you know. The goal is to get to know somebody, to figure out whether or not we can coexist and whether or not we can build together, where we can take this journey together, or whether or not you just trying to use somebody. So
and make it past the first date.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, and plus, I know for a fact, if you make it past the first date, say you spend the $50, now you got to maintain that. That shit is expensive, and no man want to do that. And also, I really feel like there are some people that there are some people, if you really like them, you don't give a damn how much money they spend, because I guarantee you, the person complaining, they didn't like this person who they went on the date with.
You know what? It's so funny because even with the 50 is not that expensive, but like I think it was brunch or breakfast or whatever. I'm thinking Sunday fun day, because that's how much I usually spend when I'm out with the girls. You know, the unlimited mimosas is about $100 there. Your meal is about $40. It's, you know, if you want to spend the money, you want to spend the money. I mean, I've taken a guy out, but again, we're past these courting stages. Like, I don't mind spending money on a person that I take out on a date, because I don't want you to think that just because you took the time to pay the money to spend on me, I'm gonna be a cheap date when it comes to you. So I've taken guys out on expensive dates before and trips, but these are people that I'm in those intimate spaces with. And that's, like you said, sometimes it's really about the meal and not about the person.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know what? My advice to y'all for 2026, stop giving a damn about what a person takes, y'all. If you really like that person, go out with them, because I guarantee you probably got somebody that got access to you that probably, probably shouldn't have access to you, It's a sad case we're in. I don't know what's wrong with other people nowadays. So we're supposed to be in the holiday spirit, but nowadays, I don't know. Speaking of the holiday spirit, what was your favorite gift you got from somebody?
So let me throw it out here. I am not a big Christmas person. I'm not always been the person when people ask me, even right now, my kids have been asking me, what do I want? And I'm like, I don't know. I would say the best gift I probably had gotten was, I'm telling you how simple I was. My camera. Years ago when I was in high school, I got, my first digital $200 camera. That was the best thing I think I've ever gotten as far as a gift. I mean, I've gotten shoes and stuff like that. Matter of fact, my kids last year bought me the Travis Scott shoes. So I wasn't expecting that one. So that was the best gift from my kids, was the Travis Scott Jordans or whatever. But
oh, wow.
My daughter, shout out to Zoe. She put that all together. But I would say when I was 16, 17, I got a camera, and that's when I started as far as being more creative. So that was my favorite gift.
Yeah, that's real. Like I said, my favorite gift was a laptop I got from my grandmother, and I knew my grandmother got it because everything she gets me is always red, and that's her way of telling me that her favorite color is red. So that's why whenever I do get something for her, I'll make sure it's red. But I don't think that answer topped somebody's answer a few years back, because someone really got on this podcast said the best gift they got from somebody was a divorce.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. Like, do you know what kind of person you have to be married to where the best gift you can get for them for Christmas is a goddamn divorce? That is crazy. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or you watching clips on TikTok. Y'all tell us what was your favorite gifts as well. So talk to me about the podcast transition. At what point were you like, I need to venture off, need to let this podcast die and start something new?
Whew. Okay. So hopefully I don't have too many people listening. So if I'm 100% honest, I would say my last season. There was so much as far as, and I'm so serious when I say this, and I can get into detail. We had stalkers lurking on the podcast. I had a point where someone visited my nail tech who was listening to the podcast. Then there was the point when I recorded and did my entire season, literally did my entire season. And I went to, so I have two co-hosts. I have one, Robin. Everybody knows Robin. Robin was there from the beginning. Antoine kind of transitioned in. And when I did the last recording with Robin, I wasn't feeling it. I felt like even some of my episodes, I kind of had to delete because I was going through I'm talking about these bad dates, but I'm kind of in a good space in my dating life. So then it's like, now I want to kind of separate my personal life outside of my podcast space. Because the person that I pursue, so to say, listens to the podcast. There was an episode about him. It's laughing, it's ha-ha-heing, but when I listened to it, I wasn't even really upfront and honest about these spaces. So I was in these spaces of talking about dating when I'm transitioning out of what was going in my life personally, and then trying to figure out how I wanted dating to look, but then kind of got into some messy stuff, and then that caused me to have a stalker on my podcast. Literally every episode sending me a message on LinkedIn. That's how far I had to block this person, and then they hit me up on LinkedIn.
Wow. How the hell are you attracting stalkers? Like, is the town, were you in Virginia at the time, or were you in Jacksonville at the time?
So, unfortunately, the episode is not around, but the clip is around when we talk about I met somebody at a repast party. That's not the stalker. No, that's not the stalker. What happened was, the person that I'm into right now, we had a lot of ups and downs, and I feel like we're still trying to figure out what this space is, and I'm fine and okay with that. But there were some things that I was transitioning in my life. I was still in Virginia, but there were things that health-wise was changing, and I feel like I didn't know how to handle what was going on with me. And with that, I took it out on a lot of people. And instead of me having open and honest conversations, we tend to assume and we go with our assumption and we keep it moving. So something that I assumed did not happen, because even on the podcast, I said he ghosted me. There was no ghosting. It was, if I would have known the person, I would have understood that he didn't ghost me. And it was more to the conversation, but I said that on the podcast, and I want to say that wasn't it. But I assumed that he ghosted me. And so because of what I was going on with myself, I was like, bump this. I'm going to date. All my friends are on dating apps. I hadn't been on a dating app in over 15 years.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm going on a dating app. And so that's how the stalkers kind of came around. Dating
apps brought the stalkers, y'all.
I was on a dating app for 2 weeks. I met somebody on there, and it was like, nah, you are love bombing me. And then when I tried to work things out, or because of my assumptions, I put us in a bad space. And so met somebody, and the person I met was 10 years younger than me. And that's where the stalker came. And so he felt like, which I was, he knew that I wasn't into him. And because of that, it was hard for me to podcast, because it was like every time he listened to the podcast, it was assumptions of this is me. You're talking about this person. You're still in, and that's when I was like, okay, you gotta leave me alone. We're not talking. We only talk for like 2 or 3 months. Let it be. It's over. It's done. And that's when I was like, I got to get out of this space because this is not where I want to be in my life. Like, I don't want the hassle of people assuming when the podcast was jokes. We talk about something. No, I wasn't in all these relationships. These are probably onesie or twosie dates that I was on years ago. And I'm bringing it up because it was a funny moment. This is not present. So because I wasn't present and I was talking about the past a lot, I'm just like, no, let's talk about the now. Let's talk about what's going on. If we're going to talk about dating, let's talk about dating in our 40s. Let's talk about what it actually looks like versus talking about a bad date. So we will talk about dating, but we want to talk about in the moment. Like you talked about the $40, or we see people caught up in social media and dating. So I still want to talk about it, but not the way we were talking.
I feel you. Side note, did you say dating in your 40s?
Yes.
Wow, you make me feel young.
Yes, I'm over 40.
Wow, you just made me feel young. I just celebrated a birthday this month. I'm feeling old, and I'm like, no. I never would have guessed. I was thinking you about my age, but I'm like, wow.
No. I have a senior in college and about to be a senior in high school. So yeah.
Black don't crack, ladies and gentlemen. Black don't crack, you know. And you bring up something interesting. Like, to people out there listening to podcasts, quit assuming we talking about you. That's and right. It's like, because 9 times out of 10 we're not. But if the shoe fits, fuck it, do better with your life to where and quit being so damn insecure. People talk shit about others. So what? Can you make money from it, or does it matter at the end of the day? No, because you know what? Us as podcasts, we get all negative criticism as well. But guess what? We keep going, you know, and that tells me you're insecure, and it also tells me that you ain't got nothing better to do with your life. You ain't got nothing going on in your life, but you gonna sit here and listen to my podcast and think I'm just talking about you when you ain't even on the radar. That's the crazy part. I'm like, it wasn't even talking about you, you know?
It was like I had to literally do an episode because it was so overwhelming. This is stuff that was like 3 years ago. I didn't know you 3 years ago. Like, stop it. Like, really. But yes, people always assume. Always.
Yes. You know what? And also, I know because I've had people assume the episodes were about them. So I said, you know what? Hey, if the shoe fits, go with it. But secretly, I really wasn't talking about you, you know, because it's like shit happens and people will think the world revolves around them. Like, there's a big world out here, you know, but nevertheless. So what are you looking to do with the new podcast that you're starting in 2026?
Like I said, I want to focus on us, you know, as far as a people and resources, because one, we don't know what resources are available to us. We do, but sometimes we don't think that they are. I want to talk to more people about with entrepreneurs, like, how did you get started? What were the struggles? Because everybody sees the glitz and the glamour on social media, but they don't know what people struggle to get into certain spaces. Like, I just started a new business, and people think when you start businesses, everything is booming and going. So it's like, I want to tap into the space of entrepreneurs. I want to talk to spiritual leaders, you know, to get healing in all kinds of ways and just provide resources and be the source to people. And like I said, we still going to talk about bad dates. We still going to laugh and joke about those, but I also want to be a source to the people.
Yes, that's amazing as well. Shout out to you for doing that. And also shout out to somebody I recently recorded with, the Resource Expert. Go ahead and check out that episode if you haven't done so already. Now, shifting gears, you know, we're still in the holiday spirit. Yes. So I don't know if you ever brought someone home for the holidays, but at what point should you bring people home at the holidays? Because I know there are people, as soon as holiday season comes around, they got somebody new with them. I'm like, how long were you with this person? And they just started dating. I'm like, you just started dating this person a week ago, and you want to bring them home to the family? Have you lost your mind? And another thing, family members are like banks. The family members are going to remember those names, and they're going to throw me in your face like, who's this person?
So I wasn't really the person to bring someone home for the holidays. Funny enough, even though it's not the holiday of Christmas, I remember somebody brought me over to their family on Easter and come to find out the person wasn't divorced. But that's another story.
Who
And my
was in divorce? How the hell you bringing me around your family? You just got divorced. What the hell?
Was not.
Oh.
Was not.
Oh, you wasn't divorced.
No. We went to church and then went over Mama's house, and Mama looking at me and didn't speak to me or anything yet. But that's here or nor there. As far as long-term dating, of course, the two serious relationships that I've been in, my family knew them way before the holiday, so it wasn't anything big. I think the one scenario that I kind of think was funny, I had a friend. It wasn't anything like really serious. We really just used to hang out. He was from Israel, and so I brought him home to the family. So that was kind of odd. Him being Israeli and coming to a black family.
Oh, I can only imagine the culture shock he went through. I can imagine the culture shock that guy went through.
Yeah, so that was interesting for him because I was just looking out for my friend, and I'm like, hey, you wanna come meet my family? So we hung out with my family. He hung out and had a good time though. He started listening to was Gerald Levert for some reason. I don't know if it was a Christmas song or whatever. He started listening to the OJs and Gerald Levert, and he was not old, and that was the crazy thing about it. So, but he was with my grandparents. So yeah, that's the only person where it was kind of awkward. Was one of my friends that came with me, but other than that, only two people, and those was two people that I've been in long-term relationships with that came home for the holidays.
Yeah, so personally, I ain't never bring nobody home to the holidays because I was always talking to people, but I just don't really feel like you're worthy to meet my family. It's not nothing on you, but we just gotta grow together. We gotta build more bonds because family are gonna ask them tough ass questions. They're gonna grill you, and they're gonna be some assholes to you. Now, the part I don't get, what you just said, is how the hell y'all leaving church and Mama not speaking? That's the part I didn't get.
So she wasn't there. Okay, so it was a guy that I had met, and we were dating. We weren't in a serious. We were literally that courting and dating. And at the time, I was going to church often, and he said, "Hey, can I go to church with you on Easter?" And I'm like, "Sure, we can go to church Easter Sunday." I didn't have my kids because my kids never met him. That's why I said we were literally just dating. It wasn't anything serious at the moment. And he said, "Well, I want to take my son." And I'm like, "Okay." I think the boy was like maybe 2. So he was little. So I was okay with it. So after we left church, we were in Philly. So I stayed in New Jersey, Philly area for a little bit. And so since we were already in Philly, he was like, I think he lived in New Jersey. So he was like, well, since I have my son, my mom and my sister hasn't seen my son in a couple of months. Let me take them over to my mom's house so she can see my son. So we go there, and he's like, hey, Mom, this is my friend Tasha, whatever, da, da, da. They rolling their eyes. They didn't speak to me. And I'm like, what is going on? So when we get in the car, he's like, so back up. He said that he was divorced. His mother, meaning his mother, that was my first time meeting her. But I had talked to his grandmother, his dad's mom, on the phone, who confirmed that he was divorced. So we get in the car, and he's like, oh, my mom didn't want me to leave my wife, whatever, da, da, da. Easter Sunday was on Sunday. I think by that Friday, that Wednesday, I talked to his wife because I made him call her.
Oh,
I made him call her.
You made him call the wife. Wow.
And by that Friday, he wasn't out in the streets no more. And he went home to his wife.
Damn, that is crazy.
Yeah, I made him call her.
So I guess he was trying to use you as a side chick, basically.
Well, that's why I was saying we literally were just talking. No, what happened? I talked to the wife.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? What had happened was he was not living at home. They weren't divorced. She said that he had been out the house for like over 6 months because I just met him. She had told me that he was out the house for about 6 months, and he said he needed his space.
Mm.
So she was okay with it because they had lost a child a year prior to.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, but yeah. She had said he was gone for about 6 months, and she was like, no, we weren't, like, we're not separated. She thought they were still, working things out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man, y'all people are some messy.
That's why I said I had disaster dating, because of these like weird scenarios, and it's like, no, we weren't serious. We weren't intimate. This was literally somebody I had randomly met. We started talking. I thought he was single. He was not living with her. He was living, wherever he was living.
Mm-hmm.
But he still had a wife, and told the wife, I need some space.
You know what? That I need some space is very, very dangerous, because I learned from one of my exes that one of my exes literally told me we need some space, but then she tells me, oh, I was talking to somebody else. I'm like, oh. Yep. So then she admits me, my ex-boyfriend, who was with somebody, but then how the hell you with somebody, but now you missing your ex? And now they got back together. I'm like, so you know what? From here on out, for me personally, whenever somebody tells me we need space, I'm going to tell you guys, okay, get the step, and we're gonna break up then, because you know what? Because I'm not gonna give y'all this. Yep. We need space. That's your code word for let me go test the waters and go see if I find something new. And if I do, I'm breaking up with you. No, fuck that. Go ahead, break up with me now, because we're supposed to come together through our conflict. We should use conflict to come together and build on that, because we got to build through the tough times, because adversity is what's going to define relationships. But people nowadays, as soon as tough times happen, they ready to go. They ready to go be in somebody else's arms. I'm like, you know what? You can't do that. And if you're going to continue that way, you'll look up, you'll be in your 60s and your 70s like, oh, I want a man. I'm like, yeah, but all your looks done left you, though. This the disaster dating on real. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Liquor Talk. Speaking of gifts, is it ever okay to take a gift from an ex?
It depends on the space that you're in. Meaning that for me, if I'm single, not single and pursuing, or single talking to somebody, I may take the gift. But if I'm not single, or if I'm talking to somebody, if somebody is around, I'm not taking the gift. Keep it, because I didn't ask for it.
Right.
So why are you giving me a gift? But I mean, it may depend on what the situation is too, because some exes kind of know you may be down for Christmas or the holiday. So it's like, hey, I bought you this because I know you're usually down. But if it's something to kind of try to pursue you, then no, I'm not taking it.
So what kind of gift would be the pursue you gift?
I mean, everybody know I'm a sneakerhead. So if anybody gives me sneakers, then that's a whole I'm pursuing or whatever. A bag, shoes, clothes, anything that's more materialistic. Intimate, like something like a card, or that's something where, hey, I was thinking about you. But if you buy me a whole set, or trying to taking me on a trip, or hey, let's go out, or here's a gift card for whatever amount of money. Gift cards, it all depends on the amount. Maybe $10, $20, that's nothing. But if it's past that, then it may be something. To be on the safe side, no, you should not take gifts from exes.
I feel that. And you know what? And I'm like, and I thought about this, and I said, you know what? I ain't never have an ex give me a gift. So it's like, I really wouldn't accept a gift from an ex, because that could tell me one of two things. One, you're still thinking about me. And two, you're trying to keep tabs on me. So I'm going to tell you to go ahead and take that gift on back, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that gift. it might get regifted though, because especially if I go to a white elephant event,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's a
with
real good one.
the white elephant events and stuff, it's like shit. And I know I'm going to that, I can easily just drop this off and be like, hey, I don't know what it is, and then you know what, and it gets lost in the shuffle. But I've never had an ex think of it that way,
I've never either, but see, that's the thing. I don't when it's over.
That's same for me too,
Yeah,
my exes don't even know I exist.
That part, when it's over, it's over. Like I don't leave that space open, if that makes sense. I just don't leave that space open for that to even happen.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know why people leave spaces open. So be careful of what spaces you leave open. Now, if it's like if you got a kid with the person, then you're gonna have to leave that space open for at least the next 18 years. But once that child hits adulthood, okay, you can leave me the fuck alone now.
That part. That part.
Because you know what? Because you never know. You buying that gift that might be planting a seed or something. You never know. So it's like, and I personally, like I said, I think we both in agreement that we wouldn't accept a gift from an ex because we don't need you planting seeds, to think you could just come back.
Yep.
Because, and you also don't know how the current person you might be dealing with could take it, because they might lose a fit over it,
That's so true.
Because people are territorial. I found that women and men can be very territorial. They don't want people prying or,
That is so true. And that's why I say I just stay out of those spaces, period.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Always stay out of those spaces. For my people who aren't in relationships and stuff and that deal with loneliness and around the holidays, what do you say to the people who got to deal with being lonely for the holidays? Because I know it's tough out here that we already established that dating pool sucks, but for my people that are lonely, I feel like you just need to get out of the house and go do something because somewhere got to be open on Christmas, because I don't think everything's going to be totally closed.
I've spent Christmas by myself a couple of times. Like I said, I have an adult child and then I have a pre-adult, as I call her. But my kids went to boarding school and my daughter still goes to the boarding school. So there have been times where I couldn't get to Philly because of snow or something and I'm home alone. Usually if I'm home alone, I'll order Chinese food because that's the only place that's open. And I watch, movies. This year, I think my son is coming over. He won't be with his girlfriend, I think. But maybe alone for Christmas. But I feel like this year is a little different because, again, I'm in a new space. Last year, I just moved here. Like, I didn't even have my furniture. My furniture just came when I moved. I just moved in December last year. So that was the first time that both my kids were together for the holidays in like 3 years.
Wow.
So so it's usually either me and my daughter, and this would be the first time where it's just me and my son for Christmas. But for the people by themselves, I know how that feels because I am my mother's only child. My mom passed away when I was 16.
Oh, damn.
My stepfather passed away when I was 14, and my dad is incarcerated. So
wow,
it's just me. So I've been, and I'm usually in those spaces. Like even now, I live alone, so I'm in those spaces about 85% of time. It can get hard. I feel like the holidays are very hard. The one good thing about Florida is you don't see snow because snow makes it very depressing. And I've noticed the difference of how I feel for Christmas this year versus any other holidays. But it gets hard. If you don't have a tribe, if you don't have friends, order some Chinese food and watch a whole bunch of Christmas movies.
You know what? That's not a bad deal. Order some Chinese food, or even for my people in Tampa, hit the casino if you're in Tampa, or you're in South Florida, hit the casino because
it's a casino. I'm sorry.
Yes, there's a casino in Tampa, and yes, there's a casino in South Florida. It's called the Hard Rock Casino, y'all. Motherfuckers, y'all better pay me. I'm giving y'all free advertisement. Damn Seminoles, y'all better pay me. I'm giving y'all some free advertisement around here. But the Hard Rock Casino is like very nice, got a whole bunch of food spots. I wanted to have my birthday dinner there, but they didn't allow you to split the checks. You couldn't split the checks. And I had about good 20 people show up for my birthday dinner. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are amazing. I'm going to keep telling y'all that y'all are amazing. But yeah, there's a Hard Rock Casino in Tampa. So you know what? I would definitely say do like she said. If you can't make it to the casino, or some Chinese food and watch some Christmas movies or watch Christmas basketball. I wouldn't watch no Christmas football because all the teams suck on there that playing this year. So they all garbage that are playing this year. I'm like, the NFL trying to be greedy, but yeah, it backfired on y'all because all the teams playing on Christmas, they suck this year. So it is what it is. But try to do something, to keep the holiday spirit going. So as adults, do you feel like Christmas is overrated or is it still magical?
Being that my kids are older, it's more expensive. So it's not the trying to put the bike for me as my kids being younger, putting the bikes together and trying to the whole Santa feel. So for us, it's just a regular day. Like we don't wake up early. That's the one thing. I don't have to get up early in the morning to open up gifts. But I do miss the traditions of making thumbprint cookies. I told my daughter we're going to try to keep that tradition next year. So listening to the music, that's the one thing I love is the Christmas music, Motown Christmas. Shout out to Motown Christmas. It does not get old. So just listening to the music, this is the first time ever that I'm not putting up a tree.
Wow.
Yes. So first time ever not putting up a tree. It's gonna be a regular day for me.
For me, it got to be a regular day. For me, it was always a regular day because, like I said, I don't have any kids, so it was always a regular day. But I would always go around a friend's house who did have kids, and I always see the tree. I'm like, that tree looks so nice. And even my housemate last year, she put up a tree. I'm like, wow, this tree looks nice, but I don't think they're gonna put up a tree this year. But there's some years where it's just another day. And yes, in my ass, I went to work. I'm like, yeah, give me that time and a half, while other people are home with the kids and stuff. So
I have to work. I work remote. I think I do have to log in. I don't know. So
I mean, at least you get to log in and stuff. You could probably be in your pajamas and work and stuff.
No, I'm gonna be logged in. If I have to work, I'll just be logged in. That's literally because nobody's gonna be. So I don't have no tickets to close.
Yeah, so you gonna be real good. So you just gonna be sitting on the clock, just collecting that check,
enjoying watching TV and eating brunch.
Yes, that is what's up. So, speaking of Christmas songs, what is some of the best Christmas songs that you could think of? I know we did said the Motown stuff, but for me, it's always the Silent Night by the Temptations, and and what's funny is I have friends be trying to do that man's voice, the deep voice. They all try to talk the deep voice, and it'd be so funny listening to them. So, what's some other good Christmas songs?
What Donny Hathaway this Christmas?
Yes.
Chris Brown redid it. I would say Rudolph. That's the Temptations. And then Jackson 5, Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Only reason I will not put Mariah on the list is because I feel like I'm traumatized from that when I used to work at the toy store when I was a kid in the high school. But Jackson 5, definitely, like you said, Temptations. This Christmas will always be a song that it's like we have to in the Black House that has to play this Christmas. Play it. It didn't play, so you gotta make sure it play.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel that, because I remember people blasting the hell out of Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas. I'm like, y'all act like this is the only Christmas song out here. There are plenty of other Christmas songs besides this one. I'm like, we get it. I'm like, bro, there are so many other Christmas songs besides Mariah Carey, Can we play the other ones, Can they get the commercial pop like Mariah Carey do? But I'm just like, my goodness, y'all. So talk to me about dealing with family at Christmas, because why do certain families got to start things during the Christmas holiday? Why can't they just be happy to see you?
Well, it got to, Black households, it got to be some drama. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody either coming over, you ain't seen them in a long time, or, your Uncle Mo or Joe is out on the streets and just, you know who creeping up in the house at Big Mama house, who don't need to be at Big Mama house. Hide your purse, hide your bag, I just feel like we as a people, we are very passionate when it comes to certain things. And like you said, who you bring in We talking about who the person brought, who the dude is, or who the girlfriend is. Because it's all fun and games. I don't think it's anything where it's serious. Because you got to joke about look who Leon brought over.
Yeah, we do. Girl. We do. You know what, Mom? I ain't gonna lie. My mom hosted this Christmas restaurant, Christmas dinner with our family, and she brought some random guy. I'm like, Mom, I love you, but who the fuck is this motherfucker, man? You ain't even all the way divorced from your current husband. Who's this motherfucker, Mom?
So, the new girlfriend or boyfriend creeping in the house, not saying nothing. You got family members playing cards. It's all fun and games.
Yes, I remember those days where family was just sitting around playing cards, and I remember one of my dad's side family had some uncles, some of all the men who were in talk to their dad, which would be not my grandfather, but I think he was my grandfather. I don't know how that works because my grandmother on my dad's side had multiple baby daddies, so it's like
okay.
So, however, all the men were gathered around, and he was speaking to him from
step-granddaddy.
Yeah, there it is. Step-granddaddy was, God rest his soul. He was just talking from the Bible and talking about what we should be doing as men. I'm like, you know what? And all disrespect, step-granddaddy, but the Bible is really old, because people can talk about things in the Bible, but they don't apply those things, sir, But nevertheless, I will tell y'all this. If you go around your families, set your boundaries because family can be hurtful, and you know what? Nowadays, I find myself telling myself that, look, if I go around family, set your boundaries. Like, you got to check these people to let them know that if they say something stupid, you're going to check them, because they will continue to say stupid things if it goes unchecked.
That is true. I agree with you on that.
Because you know how it is. You go around your family and they always got something to say, and it's like there's gonna come a year where you just snap, and then if you snap, you the bad guy. But hey, nowadays, guess what? I don't give a damn about being the bad guy. You ain't paying my bills.
Yeah, I think.
Yes. I love. And I think I love that too. I'm in the grown circle now. I'm in the grown folks conversation now. Only thing about that is now that you're in it, they be so nosy. Like, what's going on with you? How much money you making? And what are you doing for your career and stuff? What's going on with your little podcast? First of all, this ain't a little podcast, that motherfuckers. No, if you gonna ask me about my podcast, you gonna get it straight.
Yes.
Yeah, but even my mom. I said to myself, if my mother can come around and respect what I do, y'all can too, know. So remember, if y'all going around your family this year, enjoy them, but set them boundaries because family members will violate them boundaries like there is no tomorrow.
That is so true.
So, and also, and if you have kids out there, protect your kids. You need to let your kids know too, hey, you need to check these family members because there are so many times where you might want to snap on somebody and then your family member, your mom or your aunt might be like, oh, that's the elder. That's so fuck that elder. If you disrespectful, you gonna get this disrespect too, goddammit. Just because you're an elder of the family does not give you the right to be disrespectful.
Gotta say it in a nice way.
Gotta find a way to, yeah, you definitely gotta find a way to say it in a nice way and not bring out the hood because
you don't know what auntie you talking to gonna curse you out right along with it too.
You know what? And sometimes I done hit that age where if you cuss me out, I'm cussing you right back out. Shit, I don't care. You ain't paying my bills. You ain't supporting me. So y'all. But overall, enjoy the family members that need to be enjoyed. Yes. Celebrate the family that does need to be celebrated. Celebrate the time. And to all the kids out there, stop looking for shit, Like, we know it's Christmas and you work hard to go get it, then go get it. Yeah.
That part.
But don't be trying to be a financial strain on your parents because you'll get to a certain age where you're just going to look like, fuck it, I want this, I'm going to go get it myself. Instead of asking your family because you never know what goes on with your family,
That's true. That's true.
Because I know your kids are older now. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you ever had them years where it was a strain to.
Definitely had one where when we stayed in Jersey, and I'll never forget. I think I got some of the stuff, but I remember. Shout out to Walgreens and Rite Aid when they started selling gifts there because I forgot what it was, and I had to literally go there and try to get little stuff to go around the tree, but. Yeah, now It's been some times where when they were younger, it was definitely a struggle to
Mm-hmm.
have two little kids and be a single mom. Definitely.
Yeah. Shout out to all my single moms and single dads out there that are doing it by themselves, making things happen for the presents, Make sure you give them, if you can, make sure you give them something nice, And if you can't, just make it up to them throughout the year because there are 365 days in a year. You can get them a gift like sometime down the line, or give them some gift for their birthday, or give them just because you didn't.
That is so true.
True. And also to my people in relationships, get a gift. Be sure to give gifts to people who are actually getting you things because there are so many times that you'll be with somebody where you're thinking, oh, you get them this, but they ain't returning the favor. So people quit being selfish in relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Liquor Talk. The more you drink, the better we sound. This podcast sounds a whole lot better when you have some liquor. So now I know you said on your for your new podcast, you're going to talk about some self-improvement. So yes. What are some things people can do to start preparing themselves for 2026?
Set goals. I'm a writer, but I don't journal. I'm horrible at it more than anything. But set goals. Even if you can't achieve it, write it down, put it up. I mean, I have a vision board, but it's not one of them rinky dinks. Like, I really took my time. It looks real fancy. It looks like a picture frame. But I would say set a goal. Set one goal to achieve. If you don't achieve it, it's okay. But at least try to maintain it. Set a goal and really focus on you. Because I feel like so many of us focus on other people. Make sure you are happy. Whatever your happiness looks like, whether it's with somebody, without somebody, if you're not happy in a relationship, I'm not saying leave, but really dig into to see if these people are really for you, because I feel like so many of us are selfish and selfless. So we think about other people instead of focusing on ourselves. So make sure you focus on yourself.
Of course. Definitely setting them goals. And set realistic goals because you got to know yourself. Because you can't say I want to do this goal, but you know damn well you're not going to do it. Don't give me that new year, new me bullshit. Because I guarantee you, as first time adversity, as soon as something happens, you're back to your old ways. Because that's why I kind of stopped setting the New Year's resolutions because it's like sometimes they don't make it past the first month. Like I might be consistent with it for maybe the first 20 days of January, but then something happens and you done forgot it, So be real with yourself, set realistic goals. And realistic goals are definitely easier to achieve than the ones that are streamless that you know damn well you can achieve.
I agree.
Because I be seeing a lot of people that all have a goal, do this, do that. Then by the time June comes around, I'm like, what happened to them goals? Oh, you having hot girl somewhere, hot boy somewhere, and now you done forgot about them goals and stuff, And also, I will say, the biggest thing for 2026, y'all, is to forget about what happened in 2025. Build on the good, but, forget about learn from the bad,
Gotcha, I agree.
Because there's so many times that people will still talk about what happened last year or what happened 10 or 20 years ago. Man, let that shit go. You'd have made it to another year,
That is so true. And I agree. Sometimes it's okay to make mistakes.
Yes, everything is like trial and error in life, It's okay to make mistakes. And also be safe for the new year, y'all, because I know you lived in Philly. I know you weren't close to New York. So because I heard some stories about my people that go to New York, they get robbed at them New Year, at Times Square and stuff. I heard them stories. So definitely be safe for New Year's, because, and personally, I don't know what I'm doing for New Year's because most people I hang with, they talking about they're going to stay in the house. I'm like, the hell wrong with y'all?
I always say, I ain't been outside in a minute. I usually stay in.
Yeah, come to think about it, I usually just go to like a friend's house to go to a kickback or something like that because everywhere it's like not $20, but $40 and $50. I'm like, all this just to celebrate the new year. But I ain't gonna lie though, but I know down in Tampa they got the cruise. They got the little Starship cruise. I'm thinking about doing that for myself for New Year's. I know because hey,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice to get on the water, and celebrate the new year. But hey, it is what it is. But I know one thing I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm definitely looking forward to new collaborations in 2026.
Definitely.
I'm definitely looking forward to returning collaborations. I'm definitely looking forward to everything that's going on. So, what are some things you're looking forward to in the new year?
New year, building my business, rebuilding my brand. Like you said, definitely collaborating and getting to know my new state of Florida, because I am now officially a Floridian. So getting to know Florida, exploring. There are a lot of things to do out here. I notice, whether it's down here or further up, there's so many things to do. So just really exploring and getting to know and building better friendships.
Yes, yes. And for all my people from up north who are just now moving to Florida, hey, enjoy it. Thank y'all. Thank you for causing the traffic to go up, because what used to be a 5 minute drive now takes 20 minutes because all the snowbirds that moved in. But I will say that embrace the full Florida culture, y'all. Embrace the culture. If you love your culture so much, just go back to where you came from. So, because there'll be so many people talking about Florida, this, like, it's so warm. Why is it always so warm? You don't get all 4 seasons. And I tell the people, if you want all 4 seasons, you got to live in North Florida. Whether
I
it's,
was gonna say you do. I get all 4.
Yeah.
But I just don't get snow.
Yeah.
That's why I
you
got
don't.
a small sleeve and then it's hot down here.
Yeah. Listen, if you want all 4 seasons, you got to live in either Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Pensacola. You got to live in North Florida because something than that, hey, people in Miami don't even know what the hell jacket is. I remember one time Broward County had a state of emergency because the temperature dropped below 50. I'm not making this up. There are people that they will wear their fur coats when it's like 50 or 60 degrees outside, and then you got people up north looking at them like they're crazy. Well, when you grow up down here and it's hot all the time, you ain't used to it being cold, so that's what it is, But overall, I hope you all enjoy being down here for all my people that come to Florida. And also for my people that visit Tampa, we are more than just mega and strip clubs, because I had somebody from Baltimore, shout out to Mr. Pablo from the Surrogates studio up in Baltimore. He was like, all Tampa is mega strip clubs. You know what? Y'all bring y'all asses to Tampa and I'll show y'all that it's more than just mega and strip clubs, Yes, that's funny. That is funny. So talk about what are you looking forward to with the podcast in 2026?
Being consistent. So you said the goals, right? The one thing that I have a hard time with is, because I used to have co-hosts, there were times when I would take spaces. I want to really be consistent and not take. I don't mind taking the breaks, and I take a lot, and I'm very open with taking those breaks. But I really want to be consistent in this year as far as the podcast, being that it's a new brand. We're not just talking about bad dates. So I want the consistency. I want to really get to know the people, and I really want people to understand that, there are, like I said, resources and sources. You can be an entrepreneur. Talk about going to Black colleges. We both attended Black colleges before. Talk about those experiences instead of PWIs. I'm not saying my son goes to a PWI. My daughter wants to go to a HBCU. But really be in these spaces of being real. And that's my main goal, is to be real and authentic of what I'm speaking on, and not just trying to put the glass or just the fades of the fake. But I really want to be real in these podcast spaces.
Of course, I definitely feel all of that. You got to be real and authentic, because those conversations at home, we're not trying to be them bullshit ass conversations where where the host knows the level of person.
Yeah.
They're just not there. Because I look at other podcasts and I'm like, bro, you mean to tell me you don't know that this woman is going to say this, or this man is going to say this? Because sometimes the mental capacity in some of these spaces, I'm just like, it's not there. It's just nobody's really comprehending. They're just listening to respond. So I feel you on having the real conversations, the real heart-to-heart conversations while doing some sipping. And also to the people out there who don't drink, you're more than welcome to come on, because guess what? We have the sober sessions where we just sipping on some juice or sipping a mimosa, or not mimosa, but what's that thing called? A mocktail.
Mocktail.
Yeah, the mocktail, But overall, Natasha, why do people need to tap in with your podcast?
People need to tap in because the one thing, like I said, we are real, we're funny. I'm honest. Like the one thing that I don't do is you won't see me cut or edit. Like I like to keep my podcast where it is and what we do. Like I was saying, my old co-host just smoke on. I didn't like it, but hey, if he's smoking, let it. I just wanted people to know that I'm a very real person. I want people to see that it's not about the glitz and the glam. I'm not that person that is trying to show off. I'm just being my authentic weirdo self, as my friends say.
Hey, it ain't weird to me. It's amazing because, hey, I done enjoyed having you on. So, hey, but Natasha, I want to thank you for blessing the Liquor Talk with your presence. And I really want to thank you for pulling up on me, because there's some people out there that may not have done that. But guess what? I definitely embrace it. So whenever you need me for anything, you just let me know. I am just a call or a DM away. But nevertheless, I'll definitely make it happen. And thank you to listeners for listening to this Christmas edition of Liquor Talk, the podcast. Whether you tuned in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or you're watching this on YouTube or TikTok, go ahead and follow the brand, support the brand, because the culture we are taking over for the 25 and the 26. So keep pouring up your drinks, and until the next episode, peace.